Now, the former president of the Nigerian Bar Association and governorship candidate of the Labour Party, Olumide Akpata, is looking forward to becoming the next governor of Edo State in the 2024 gubernatorial election scheduled next month. His candidacy brings a fresh wave of optimism and promise, resonating strongly with the electorate. Akpata's campaign has been characterized by a clear and inclusive vision for Edo State. His manifesto outlines comprehensive plans for economic revitalization, infrastructure development, education, healthcare, and social welfare. Meanwhile, the BTV television network, in released results of its public opinion polls for the Edo State governorship election in July, puts Olumide Akpata of the Labour Party as the clear frontrunner in next month's election. Akpata was also adjudged the likely winner of the election in two online polls conducted by Edo Pride, an online blog, and Tunde Ednut, a social media commentator and influencer. Well, joining us now on the morning show is Olumide Akpata, Oludi, the governorship candidate of the Labour Party in Edo State and the former president of the Nigerian Bar Association. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, thank you for having me.
Well, good to have you. Good to have you with us in the studio.
Good morning, Rufai. Thank you for having me.
Well, 25 days to the election, the battle for Osadebe House. One, how is it going? And although you have responded to this other issue, that the allegation that you are a pawn, working secretly for the APC, where you said you are not one of them and you don't want to dignify it with a response. But we would like, again, to hear from you, now that we have the privilege of having you with us in our studio. Are you working for Bargepole, as they claim? Or, but how is the campaign going?
Well, first, the campaign is going very well, Doctor. Going extremely well. I am grateful to God for the opportunity. For me, I'm new to the game. It's been 1 year running firstly as an aspirant, clinching the party's ticket, and then running around now as candidate. I have been around Edo State. As aspirant, I went around the state 3 times, 18 local governments. As candidate, I've gone around 2 times. And so for me, it has been a blessing because, as you can imagine, it has given me an opportunity to see my state from angles and perspectives that I had never really contemplated. So it has been going extremely well. There are problems, there are issues, but nobody ever promised it will be easy. So we are doing our best to surmount these, but it has been an exciting outing, and the people are accepting the message, and people hope is being rekindled amongst our people. Because as you can imagine, after the experience of 2023, there's despondency in the land, there is despair, and some of them very difficult for them to believe. So we're trying, but now I think we have crossed that hurdle. Am I a pawn? They say now tree won't get better fruit under the stone. So if I not get fruit, nobody goes stone me now. When we started, I was supposed to be Obaseki's agent, and I had to come to this studio to debunk that. And now I'm being fingered as APC's spoiler, brought into the race by APC. And these not very smart people had to resurrect pictures and videos of my meetings with Femi Bargepole when he was Speaker of the House of Representatives and I was President of the Bar. We had an MOU with the House at the time to battle police reform issues. So those videos and pictures have been bandied around as evidence of my collaborating with the APC. I have published on online and print media my own rebuttal, and I've told the people that I am not one of them. They are 2 fingers of the leprous hand. But in fact, we call them PDAPC. We don't even bother to separate them anymore. They're the same. They've run Edo State for 25 years, and there's really nothing on ground to show. It's a continuous failure in leadership. I won't touch them with a Bargepole. I would not touch either party with a Bargepole. You just need to go around Edo State and see that the people are left with a very short end of the stick. So I have no godfather. I have no benefactor. God is my father, and he has been seeing me through. And the people will push us very gently into Government House on the 21st of September.
All right, you made reference to the 2023 election. There's skepticism that without the Peter Obi effect that existed during the 2023 election, that the outlook for Labour candidates in various elections is morbid. And there's also a perception that the Labour Party is almost like a bus that people get onto when they want to get onto office and they don't want to be associated with PDP or APC. What's your take on those perceptions?
Well, I'm not quite sure that the Peter Obi effect is absent, because Peter Obi, leader of the Labour Party, is 100% with me. He has come to Benin City a number of times to campaign with me. He's returning in September to join us with the campaigns. He has said time and again that he is fully in support of my candidacy, and he has asked the people of Edo State. He says anybody who supports him should support Olumide Akpata. So the Peter Obi effect is still very much present. Well, the only thing we can say is that the person on the ballot is not Peter Obi, but Peter Obi effect is very, very present. And the people are daring to believe again. From Benin City to Uromi, to Auchi, to Igara, the people are daring to believe again. When we go out, they come out in their numbers, they welcome us, they receive us, and it's like, where have you been? It's like, where have you been? Where we've been waiting for you. So, you know, the people will serve, these two parties, they will serve them hot breakfast on the 21st of September, because the people really want change. They desire to be brought out of bondage. So I'm quite confident that the Peter Obi effect is still very much present, and the people it's resonating with the people. They are keen in. So we're very excited. I'm going back to Auchi as soon as I leave your studios to go and continue with the campaigns. We're talking to the people, we're seeing and they're receiving the message.
With a divided Labour Party, is that how you want to do it? Is Abure with you now as we speak? Is the chairman of the party with you? We hear there's a lot of skirmish going on as regards the Labour Party in Edo State. We all saw what happened. What's your take on that? And I read your manifesto. You're talking about the fact that Edo is the worst place to do business. How are you going to transform that? Secondly, Edo does not have water. We need a lot of reticulation of pipe. Have you calculated how much it would cost you to give water to the Edo people? At least let's start from there in the first place.
So firstly, divisions in parties. You know, every family, they get quarrel now. It's not nothing new. I can point to the other parties in Edo State and I tell you what issues they have internally, just not my business. So I focus on my own party. Labour Party has issues at the national level. Julius Abure, you referred to, as far as there are issues right now as to whether he's even still the chairman of the party. You know what I mean? So all of those issues
Has he been a stumbling block to your campaign?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Has he supported you?
Well, he's the chairman. Of course he supports me. Of course.
Really? You're sure everything is okay with you and Abure?
We're fine. We're cool.
Okay.
Yeah, we're cool. So he's the chairman of the party. Labour has issues. I'm a lawyer. I've been one for 31 years. It's part of my job to resolve disputes. So we as party members are trying to, you know the issues with the NLC at the national level. It has cascaded to the state level. There are court cases. So I'm very hesitant to speak to these issues because at the Federal High Court before my Lord Justice Obiozo, there's a case
But Abure has not come to lift your hand up or campaign with you.
Peter Obi has come. But Abure, you see the problem, right? Like I said, I don't like to speak to the issue, but Abure, INEC, Labour Party, there are issues as to his whether or not he's still chairman. So I'm sure he'll be hesitant to come at this time when these issues are being sorted out. Because number one, the convention that was held in Nnewi, INEC did not monitor it. So it is being bandied around. I've been busy with my campaign, but the one when I did hear is that it is being said that convention was not properly conducted. So, and that his tenure has come to an end. NLC has made their own, put their own submissions forward. So these issues are being resolved internally. So it will be very difficult for a party chairman to now come to Benin to run to join in the campaign when he's he roofed the leak now. You know what I mean? So he has to deal with.
But it's
issues.
From Edo State, so let's not forget.
It's from Uromi.
But let's talk about water.
Yes.
Have you put a cost to how much it would take you to get water for the people? And secondly, in your manifesto, you said Edo State is one of the worst states to do business based on your assessment. What would you do to change that? And are you saying Obaseki has not done anything at all?
Not based on my assessment, Rufai. Let's get it clear. In my manifesto,
you talked about
PEBEC. The Presidential Council on Ease of Doing Business says ranked us 37 out of 37. You know, so the current government likes to bandy numbers around, but you know they say I don't know the carry last. But on this occasion, Edo don't carry last. So what we're going to do is you just inspire confidence. Put the things that are needed in place so that investors, local and international, will come in. Inspire confidence. Be people-focused. Spend the money, spend the 16 billion you get every month on the issues that are for the people. Security, those things that will encourage the investors to come. It's not rocket science. Now, about water, right? I don't have a number for you in terms of how much will it cost. But what I can tell you is that it is doable. It's not. My father was born in 1940 in Benin. He came to see pipe-borne water as a child in Benin, and we're talking 90 years ago. So there are things that need to be done about water supply. There are areas that the topography will not allow. You still need boreholes in certain areas in Edo Central. But generally, you can pipe water. The dams that have been abandoned, or Jeremy and co, they can be reactivated. Now, where I take my start-off point is that I look at the income profile of the state, and I say, when we start work, apportion what you need to apportion. You're not going to fix the water in one day, but you have to apportion the resources that are required to reactivate these moribund water projects. I think there's a cholera outbreak in Edo right now as we speak, right? And it's because of the fact that our water system or our water supply, whatever, is impaired. There are issues. So I may not be able to give you a number as we speak in terms of exact figures, but from my own, the questions I've asked the experts, it is doable. And Edo has an income profile that can accommodate water, road, and all of those things. So for me, the problem we have is that people are not doing their job.
Okay, Olumide. I like the way, in the course of the conversation, you've been mixing English with pidgin.
Yeah, Doctor, it
makes it exciting.
I think in pidgin first.
We have had a very good on this program. It's a pleasure to have you. We hope Monday or Popolo, the APC candidate, will also show up.
Don't hold your breath.
If he wants to speak pidgin, we will conduct the interview in pidgin.
Yes, we are ready for
and if he wants to speak Edo language, we will get an interpreter. If English language is a bit difficult for him. So I like that. But let me ask you.
You
join politics.
Don't hold your breath. You won't show up.
You join.
Why will you say won't show up? Oh, no, don't say that about Mr. Money.
You joined politics 1 year ago. So this is not MBA section on business law.
What are MBA?
Or MBA section on business law.
No, I was chairman of section.
Oh, you were president?
I was president of the
chairman of
the
business law section. Now, what lessons will you say you have learned as you you went from law, commercial law, into politics? That one, and what are the challenges that you have faced so far?
So for me, the lessons I have learned is that, or the lessons that have been reinforced, Dr. Abati, is that everything rises and falls on leadership. And it is the absence of leadership that has put us where we are. We have been victims of irresponsible leadership. Now, the logo of the reason why I joined Labour Party, the logo of the party you will see in the Papa, Mama, Pikin, the classic definition of democracy has people mentioned 3 times, right? For good reason. But you have governments over time that have totally taken the people out of the equation. So that is my problem, that leadership is the issue. And so for me, we need to take charge. A leader must take charge. A leader must understand that you are there to serve the people. Doctor, I've gone around Edo State 5 times now, and it is the same story across the state. Our leaders have abdicated. I went to a school, Uhi Grammar School in Uhonda local government, founded in 1970 by our father, Osaibovo Gwemudia. It looks like a war zone. Leadership, what I have learned is that our government are wicked, irresponsible, and I'm referring particularly to the current PDP government in Edo State. And it's quite disappointing because the individuals who run Edo State came from the private sector like I did. And for me, I'm just surprised at the neglect. And I watched the PDP candidate yesterday trying to separate himself from a government that he has served as chief economic advisor for almost 8 years. It's unbelievable. So I have learned the lesson that it rises and falls on leadership. And that if good leadership can show up, like we have seen in Abia State with Alex Oti, my friend, good leadership can show up as we saw in Anambra, as we see, and it's not, there's good leadership in some PDP states. On the 29th of May this year, I watched on television when Governor Fintiri commissioned a phenomenal project in Yola, commissioned by our father, Baba Obasanjo. What used to be a roundabout like you have in Ramat Park in Benin, in Jimeta, in Yola State, converted into it's a modern spectacle of a road. Go to Benin, you find no monumental, no project of note. It's ridiculous. So that is the first, that's the lesson I have learned, that, and it reinforces my belief. It tells me that we have made the right decision to come into government, into politics, to provide leadership for the people. It's one day at a time. Edo State earns 16 billion a month. I'm the first to admit that the IGR has been improved upon by the PDP government. But you know that what that means, doubling your IGR, you know that you are burdening the people and the citizens to get to that point. Taxation and so on. When I say people, I mean natural and corporate. You have burdened them. The least you can do is show them what you have done with that extra money you have collected. Aggregate 16 billion every month. And you don't find, if you see, I can send you clips, my videos, gone round. As we mentioned yesterday, Edo Best, our schools are great. The teachers have tabs. That's a joke. That's a joke. You can't pick one or two schools in Benin City and tell me that is reflective of the reality in Edo State. Doctor, I have gone round Orion, local government area. If you remember the town called Abudu, there's another town there called Uronigbe. They have not had power for 10 years. Meanwhile, they sit on the largest inland gas deposit in Nigeria. It's a paradox. The one that I can't even begin to wrap my mind around. So it's about leadership, and Labour Party is here to provide leadership, and the people know this, and the people are ready to support
challenges. You spend a lot of money on advertisement, so
challenges.
You seem to have some deep pockets, funding you. But what are the challenges here first?
Challenges. My first challenge as a new politician is confronting a people who don't believe anymore. The trust deficit is so wide. The people, it's like trying to find out the original sin. How did we get here? Because over time, the people they've been raped serially. So as far as they're concerned, they lump all of us. They lump all of us politicians. They just tar all of us with the same brush. So the challenge has been to let the people know, say, I not count me join them. I not follow them. You need to repeat that message over time, that you can trust us, you can believe. I tell them, I say, they say, how do we believe you? I say, well, I tell them that there's risk in everything we do. But you have to look at pedigree, you have to look at, by their fruits you shall know them. Go and see the people who have been there for 25 years. In the last 8 years, you have one individual, for first half, he wear APC jersey. Second half, he come out of changing room, now PDP jersey they wear. So I tell them, I say, you have been dealing with the same group of people. But it's so, I will be the first to admit that the people are jaded. They are jaded, and for me, that mental shift, that mind shift that you need to engender has been tough, but it's good to see that we're making progress in that regard. The people, I go out on the street and they say, you're our candidate, we're going to vote for you.
Still speaking on challenges, you're from Edo South. And the unwritten rule, unspoken rule, is that it is the Central's turn.
I don't know about that rule.
You don't know about it?
No.
So you're not considering that in your campaign at all? It's not a factor to you?
So I always say, and I've said that for over 1 year, you don't transplant zoning. Zoning is a party issue. Zoning is a party issue. So maybe PDP and APC have zoned to Central, and that is why they have Central candidates from Central. Labour Party, we are new to the game. The Yorubas call it Cheshede. We are new to the game, right? We decided as a party that on this occasion, best foot forward. We will not circumscribe ourselves to any part of the state. So our primaries were thrown open to every part of the state. So you had more people from Central participating, and then I was there and others from North. And then I emerged as the candidate, and they said, okay, now we can set the clock. Now that an Edo South man is running, and if we're successful, next time around, we will get somebody from Central or elsewhere. You can't, they're not work for Leventis and then you're going to collect your salary from a UTC. It's not done. We are of the Labour Party. And by the way, the message that I send, I pass along as I travel. I just returned, I was in Ekpoma. a couple of days ago, met with the lecturers at the Ambrose Ali University, iconic university named after our father, Ambrose Folorunso Ali, totally decimated, actually decapitated by the current government. Lecturers have not been paid for 32 months, some lecturers. Then Chris Nahihare, the Commissioner of Information, comes out and issues a very, very tepid rebuttal. When the facts are there, I mentioned that school because that school is a very, very, very pivotal institution in Edo Central. It has been abandoned and neglected. So it's not about development. It's not about tribe. Edo Central, right, has had 3 federal ministers of works: Chief Aneni, Senator Ogbesia, Architect Michael Nolo-Ememe. You would have thought that since they come from Edo Central, now Soso Expressway and flyover will go see for Edo Central. You can't even get around Uromi, the roads and everything. So this is what I tell those who come, my people from Edo Central, who present the same issue. Oh, it's the turn of Central. We run a democracy. We run our democracy on party platforms.
But are people's mindsets receptive to this?
Oh yeah. Even in Edo Central, they have come to accept that. Hey, listen, yeah, it's a good to have, and because the way politics is run in Nigeria, you want your own to be there because these horrible politicians, when they get there, they concentrate on their own part of the state. So the average man comes to believe that until my own reach there, we're not going to see anything. So you might as well get my own person there. But we've told them, Labour Party, there will be an even distribution of amenities of development and positions, because a lot of them are eyeing positions and so on and so forth. Okay. So, and the people believe.
Real quickly, I'm happy you talk about Edo Central. A couple of times, I've also taken a tour around Edo Central, from Iruwa, Iromi, down to Obiaja, going up to Ikeke. That's how much I've traveled across that length and breadth. The road is really despicable.
Horrible.
But the question is, have you put a cost to it? I keep asking the cost to it because if you don't plan, if you don't make a cost around things, have you put a cost to it, how you're going to fix it? How much are you going to get? Secondly, I'd like to ask, are you having talks, attacking Labour Party, just like the PDP claimed yesterday that some talks are attacking them and the police too had been working against them and all of that? Thirdly, let's also talk about infrastructural development and the state of education and healthcare in Edo State. Edo State boasts, Federal Infectious Disease Hospital in Urua and a couple of other government establishments. You have UBTH and the likes, that doctors are on strike and all of that. But the problem, and constantly has always been, primary health care. As we speak, how many primary health care centers have you mapped, for redemption in the state? How much are you going to be deploying towards drugs and medicaments and other products for the primary health care center?
The question on the menu. So
I said primary. I first talk primary health care center.
No, that's not the last one.
No, okay.
So first one.
The first one, all the road.
Yeah, so
you don't put cost
on the issue of roads.
Secondly, primary health care, and third, our talks are rising.
So on the issue of roads, right? I'm happy that Edo Central roads, Edo State roads are in a decrepit state. So with regard to costing, what I know is that Edo can afford to fix her roads. Federal, state, or whatever, right? I think it's a thing of monumental shame that you find that this current government will put a signboard on the road, on a federal road, and tell the people, please bear with us. This is a federal road. Disgraceful, right? Now, on the issue of affordability, my own issue is affordability.
These are some of the roads. You see how bad they are?
Yeah, and I had to go on all of them. Yeah. Chris Nahihare, the Commissioner of Information, I went to his own village, right? You can't, on the screen right now, you have Uhi Secondary School. That is a school that you would think that school is shut down. It's still is in session. But let me focus on your question. Your question on the issue of roads. You extend that N16 billion. I sat down with Peter Obi, because I'm a student now, they take lessons. Former governor, what did you do? Because the issue is, firstly, look at the income profile of the state. 9,000 kilometers of roads, some about 700 or I don't know how many.
700, close to 800 are federal roads. Yeah.
Now, let's start with federal. Look at Ologbo. Ologbo is a state that is straddled by a town straddled by 2 states, PDP states. The other day, a tanker killed over and petrol spilled on the road. Because the road is bad, 400 plus people died, right? Avoidable. You look at the income profile. What did Peter Obi do in Anambra? Just hold on. Yeah. You call a consortium of road construction companies. Standard procedure. Ebano did it in Enugu State. Call Strabag and others. Call them together. Parcel up the state into senatorial districts, right? Senatorial zones. And kilometer by kilometer, you start fixing the roads. You don't do it every day. You start fixing, you don't do it all in one day. You start fixing the roads kilometer by kilometer. And now, if based on what I earn as a state, right, I know that I can fix this road over a 48-month period, right? I can fix a huge, a significant number of kilometers. That has to be the aim. I'm not going to be immobilized by the fact that, oh, we don't have all the money at once. But you can project with what you have.
So how many thousand kilometers are you going to fix out of this road?
Well, out of the, first and foremost...
Out of the 9,000. Okay.
The 9,000...
When you remove 700 government road for there,
no, we will do
like
the federal government roads.
Something.
We will have to fix the federal government
roads.
Okay,
you are fixing the
because you find out that the federal government roads are critical.
Okay.
Yesterday, I could not leave Auchi. I could not get out from Auchi back to Benin. I had to look for back roads. Onwa, Sabongida Ora, and in fact, with SUVs, you know, the escort car has to go first, test the road, whether we will fit pass. So it's that bad. So federal roads have to be taken into consideration.
So how many thousand kilometers will you fix?
For me, if there are 9,000 kilometers of roads, for me, I would aim for a modest 50% to make sure that 50% of those roads, at least, we can start to fix them.
4,500 kilometers.
We must aim for that.
Okay, primary healthcare center, because we have like...
Primary healthcare center, there are 192 wards in Edo State. And if you look at my manifesto, it's simple. My father's a doctor. I've been a patient more times than I want to remember. Most of the doctors tell us that most of the ailments that afflict the average person is at the primary healthcare level. Now, the current government promised that they will give us primary healthcare centers. We don't have primary healthcare centers. So you find the people going to overburdening our tertiary institutions. We will put one primary healthcare center per ward. That is 192,
so 192
per ward. Brick and mortar issues. Then we put the doctors there, where we get doctors from NYSC. We will get our diaspora doctors. They have committed. Telemedicine is done today, right? So we need to have technology there. We will power them.
Do you know how much it's going to cost?
You see, with regard to costing of each one, I can tell you that we can afford it.
Okay.
Rufai, we can afford it. I have looked at what we earn. I have looked at averagely what it will cost. Same structure in terms of the brick and mortar. Just replicate it across 192. A couple of contractors following a design. I have looked at what it will cost power source. I have looked at what it will cost power source in terms of what kind of power, solar or whatever. I want something that's sustainable, right? So there may be medium and short and medium term approaches to power. I have looked at the issue of equipment. My major problem with regard to the primary healthcare center is where to get the doctors from, which is why we must sit with the youth service, NYSC and so on and so forth.
Our talks are asking you yes or no quickly.
No, you see, I told you that the two are the same party, right? So this issue playing out on the streets in Benin.
Okay, let's move to Dr. Akpata.
Doctor, this issue playing out on the streets is just a manifestation of what they want to do on election day. I saw Aswe complaining yesterday. PDP is also attacking. You understand? APC is attacking, which is why we need...
Where's your proof that PDP is attacking?
I can send it to you.
Empirical
pictures.
Facts.
I'll send to you pictures.
Okay. Look, it's natural for a gubernatorial candidate to say, I'll do roads, I'll do primary health care, I'll do education. Your manifesto is titled, My Pact with the People of Edo State. In terms of priorities, can you tell us, as we begin to wrap up, 3 specific things that you want Edo State people to expect from you in case you win? What are those things, in other words, that Governor Obaseki has not done, that you think should be of priority, urgent priority, to the people of Edo State?
Always difficult to buttonhole, but let's give me. I'll make it 4, please, if you don't mind. Number 1 is electricity. Number 1. Luckily, we're very fortunate now that the electricity generation has been moved to the concurrent list, so states can actually generate power. Aba has power now 24/7. Electricity is critical, and that we're going to fix, right? And we're going to make sure that Edo is lit up, right? So that is important. I've been a lawyer practicing electricity law for many years, so I understand the sector. So number 2 will now be agriculture. We're going to ignite a revolution in the agricultural sector. It is 90,000 naira for a bag of gari. 90,000 naira. So even the 70,000 that they claim is minimum wage today cannot buy a bag of gari. So we have a problem. So we need to ignite that revolution in the agricultural sector. And the revolution in the sector will mean, one, government will have to be an off-taker. Government will have to be an active participant through the PPP model. In farming, we're going to set up farming settlements across the state. We're going to set up storage facilities across the state. We're going to set up agro-allied processing factories across the state. So that, one, we feed ourselves. That's the first thing. Two, we provide plenty jobs. Agriculture can provide plenty jobs. Three, we improve the economy of the average farmer, which will percolate and trickle down to the community he lives in. Four, we stem rural-urban migration. Number three thing that we're going to do is security. Security is critical because all the things that we talk about cannot be dealt with if the people are insecure. The state governor is called Chief Security Officer. We know that that is a name only. So, but we have to work with the existing security architecture. It is in our enlightened interest to ensure that we equip the police and the DSS. Modern technological aids have come to the rescue. Crime can be fought and prevented with technology, and work with them. Then, of course, ensure that our own security network is not a ragtag bunch. Even with regard to the agricultural sector, we're going to reintroduce the forest rangers. Farm settlements must be protected if we're going to have any success. The reason for my tour around the state, the major reason why the farmers are not farming and why Gary is 90,000 is that the farmers are afraid to come out. So security is critical. So apart from providing equipment for the farmers, there are things that the state government can do that will fight security. Infrastructure, roads. Now the person, when the individual who is trying to find out how to pass through some bad road is the ready target for a kidnapper. Streetlights are critical to fight security. Number four, why I asked for number four, Doctor, is education and health. Those two have to be dealt with because our greatest assets are human resource. And those two things directly impact on human capital development. So education, we are going to deal with brick and mortar issues because the environment for learning is as important as the learning itself. And I've already mentioned what we intend to do for health.
Okay, I asked for three. You've given me not four, six.
I gave you
electricity,
3 plus 2.
Agriculture, security,
health and education as
infrastructure, education, health.
Very difficult.
Thank you very much.
But Doctor, you said something that it is common for politicians to just talk. I agree with you. But this particular individual, we're not just talking. That is why we're going to make sure that people trust again. And we're going to walk the talk. That is the failure. That is what's absent in politics and governance in Nigeria.
Well, thank you very much, Olumide Akpata, gubernatorial candidate of the Labour Party in the upcoming September 21 election in Edo State.